Greetings, everybody. This is Terrence Harris, aka TJ News, on all the social media platforms that you use currently, right? I wanted to use my story for Gemini Gems and my YouTube and all of my platforms and mediums of communication online to create conversations and points of views and points of reference for people all over the world. So today I want to add a segment called Divine Masculinity. So the why of why I'm doing this is that I wanted to add my own presence and my own lineage to the conversation of life, history, mystery, and knowledge related to humanity as a whole, because we all need guidance and direction and perspective on how to represent ourselves, invoke, balance, maintain, and even complement our spirit in all of the facets that it encompasses, which is within divine masculinity and divine femininity within people. So y'all gotta forgive me because I'm going off the top. When I say forgive me, you know what I mean? Give me what you would give yourself. That's all I'm asking for. I didn't do nothing wrong. I'm just looking forward to being embraced and invited, if not a better word, inherited. That was what I was looking for. I'm happy that you're willing to inherit what I'm saying. So that's why I say, please forgive me if I don't, give you what you need. First thing I want to cover today is the divine masculinity trait of the day, right? So I'm going to start with the most prominent, easiest one that I would think that we are all familiar with, which is leadership. Leadership is, number one, the reason why I say it is because there's a natural faculty within one's brain that inherently encompasses testosterone. Every human being has it, but men produce it at a higher rate in order to invoke or adopt the confidence necessary to carry out the necessary means to acquire and implement and utilize power to a degree that the average person, human being, wouldn't see the value or the invigoration to pursue or adopt. So women are more protectors, they nurture, they have a more subtle approach to how they create power for themselves, aka they have children. My bad, that word got cut off. But women are able to utilize themselves as a vessel to create other people and see themselves and replicate the ideologies, the mentalities, the moralities, all of the higher orders of what sophisticates humanity into the order of being great people, talking in language and love. Women are the apparatus physically and spirit as the Most High has sent through to teach women and children and men how to utilize these cultures and these points of views and these apparatuses and this information and these hands that we've been given to the fullest extent and the highest capability of what a person could convey. So that's why we as men have to acquire and seek out and build our modalities or our vessels or our conduits of power, because we cannot replicate ourselves without the complement of women. So we have to do it. Being a leader is very essential in the acquisition of power, self-awareness, love, and all of the things that make a man, which is family. This is the chemical X would be leadership, because without leadership, you wouldn't be able to convey or produce or seek out the resources that would be necessary to build communities and families that would be able to enrich, provide, and elevate the quality of life that you've provided as a man. So the con of all of this, because I feel it's important to go over the cons every time we go over the divine masculinity tips or suggestions of the day, or just the information that I drop. So we're going to go into the cons next. Malcolm, Martin, these are divine masculine men. They utilize their power to lead people in the highest order of what humanity was seeking at the time, which was human equality without, the racism, right? The problem with that is the same thing that could happen to Nipsey, is the same thing that can happen to any other great man that choose to lead people out of poverty, desolation, dilapidation, or oppression. They can be killed. Leaders are killed every day. Black men who rise, white men, any man who rises to the occasion to create technology, forms of thought, religion, or anything that can empower the people of his nation or the world as a whole are immediately utilized as targets to convey what the status quo would, I guess, appreciate more, which is, people being at the subservient or dependency of the government and other systems of control so that men and women can control their communities and their lives. Once again, this is where the divine feminine energy now reintroduces itself, because you cannot have leadership without protection. Protection is what allows leadership to move in the most efficient sense possible. Protection comes from the divine feminine energy because it seeks to utilize the influence and the characteristics, even down to the biology and the psychology of a great leader, to reinterpret or redistribute, reanimate into another human being. So that's why it's essential for women to use their intuition, that divine sense of knowing, to guide men in their leadership positions and show them whether they can be most efficient and protected in their work. So this is the beauty of who we are and the roles that we play, and invoking the principle, the universal law and principle of gender. It can guide you, and this is your divine masculinity move